Hi, you probably have heard of this word. This is what school cannot teach you. You are not alone. And I want to prove that the statement is not both inconsistent with our thoughts about school or education. It is both absurd and should not be used. Please hit the subscribe button and let's continue. It was Richard Wayne Livingston in his book On Defense of Classical Education. He said that the goal of education is to knock windows on the walls for us and to take us to the world beyond rather. Because we are born in a closed system. And this is in line with Socrates' allegory of the cave, where Socrates painted a picture of how human nature is being enlightened or unenlightened. And this we know, or we can see, is a process and not just something that happens immediately. And also we believe that human being continually, as long as they are living, they will continue to learn, which we talk about a lifelong education, that learning is a life process and which does not happen immediately. So if school should teach you everything you should know about life, then learning is no longer a lifelong process. And we know we in school we use curriculum, and those curriculum is a running course, and it defines what students should learn in that period of 12 years in K through 12 education, or 4 years in the college. Those things we are learning, school is teaching us the most important skills or the most important knowledge or virtue that a student or a citizen should be able to know. And other skills can be picked as we go. So the most important thing that a school should do is to impart the students with the skills, with the necessary knowledge to be able to go on to learn by himself. It's not to give him all the files and information that he needs. Henry Newman said that the goal of knowledge, the goal of acquiring knowledge, is intellectual enlightenment or intellectual enlargement. And that enlightenment cannot happen if the student do not interact with ideas. And it is true in the interaction with ideas and facts that the mind is being enlightened and enlarged. So the goal of school is to follow the philosophy of education, which is to use the Richard Wayne's word again. He said to knock windows on the walls for us. So it is to prepare the student, the child, to be able to tackle every problem he will meet while he is living. And this is in line with the classical pattern or classical pedagogy, which classical curriculum, which we talk about the trivium and the quadrivium, which we see this as a tool to teach, to equip students or to prepare students to go on to learn other higher sciences by themselves. So that is the goal of education. It is not to teach you everything, rather it is to prepare you to go on and learn by yourself. And this is the only law, or this is the only philosophy that is consistent with our thoughts about learning, which we say that learning is a lifelong process. And we said, we learn by our experience. Experience is the best teacher. So the more we continue to experience, the more we continue to learn, the more we continue to make meaning of our world. So the goal of education or the goal of school is not to teach you everything, but rather to knock windows on the wall and to prepare you with the skills and knowledge to be able to go on learning by yourself. And here is why. The person who said, this is what school cannot teach you, he is actually telling you this is the goal of education. Because if school has not prepared him, he wouldn't have known what school can teach and not teach. So the goal of education or the goal of school is not to give us every knowledge, but rather to help us knock windows on the walls of the world and take us to the world beyond. And to close, this is what Bishop Berkeley said. He said, no matter what we do, no matter what we think we're doing in school, if any student do not contemplate on these three things, his education is not complete. What are those three things? The nature of man, the being of God, and the cosmos, the world we live in. So if a student do not contemplate on these ideas, his education is not complete. And this is what school exists to help us to think upon. to give us those fundamental knowledge that can help us to go on learning by ourselves. Please, if you have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, and if you like this information, share with your friends and family. And see you next time.